I wish I knew I was beautiful. I wish I knew straight on as soon as I was 20 that I was already beautiful. That would have removed from me the pain of having to finding out through my interaction with people, friends, relationships, family, that I am beautiful. It would have actually saved me from the expectation that it is the job of the woman that I'm spending time with to actually make me understand that I am beautiful. Because you see, it doesn't matter your expectation about other people. They cannot make you see what you are blind to. They cannot. They really can't. And I wish I knew it. I wish I knew it, and it would have saved me so much time, so much struggles, so much pain. I remember when I was in my 20s coming up to Belgium, I lived the first year with my big sister, and then the second year I started living alone. Man, what a journey. What a journey, because all of a sudden you used to live in a different country, a different continent, in the family household where food is always there, and the only thing you need to do is to take a shower, put your clothes on, and live your day, right? And now here you come where you basically have to do everything on your own. And when you are in such an environment, you you don't realize, but you are actually lacking. What's the word in English? In French, I would say a repère. I don't know. What's the word? Let me quickly check on Google Translate. Google Translate, and let me write it. Repère. Landmarks. Yeah. So you are missing landmarks. Like, how do I navigate in this thing? What is the good thing to do, or what is the thing that's going to serve me, and what is the behavior that's actually going to work against me? I wish I knew that. I wish I knew clearly from the start that I was enough for myself in my relationship with other people, that the most important was the relationship that I had with myself. And that if the relationship that I have with myself is not the right one, if the relationship that I have with myself is not serving me, if it is a relationship of blaming and of pain, my relationship with other people cannot be different from that. Because you see, what you think about yourself, what you know to be truth about yourself, overpower everything that you can hear outside. It doesn't matter how someone is going to find you beautiful. If you are not convinced that you are, the words of that person will not actually make sense. Maybe recently you came across Love is Blind, a reality TV show on Netflix, Love is Blind France. And one of my main takeaway after I watched two episodes was, I think I texted it to someone or I put it in my Instagram bio, that unless you actually love yourself, no one is going to love you, because you won't even be able to recognize what love is. So I wish in my 20s I knew I was beautiful. I wish I knew it. And I remember growing up, it's a topic that I often had with myself. Like, I could see at school the guys that were popular. I could see the guys that were, getting all the attention from girls. And that's how, we were labeling them beautiful. But then in opposition to that, you have a tiny, skinny kid who's barely getting one eyeball on him, and here you are, and you have to define beauty for yourself. What a struggle. What a struggle. And I remember I had this girlfriend when I was what, 16, 15. And when we were talking, I once told her, listen, everyone thinks that my big sister, like the firstborn, she's really beautiful. She's 7 years older than me. Everyone agrees that she's really beautiful. And I really, really look like her. So I think I'm also beautiful. I said it and she laughed so hard, but I was really believing it. So when I was looking at the guys that were getting the eyeballs from the school, and I labeled them, everyone labeled them as a good looking man. And then you look at yourself, you see there is no eyeballs on you. Then you're like, what is this? What kind of beauty do I have then? You see what I mean? So I had to create something in my head to kind of boost myself up. It worked, but it didn't actually bring me to the level of self confidence, right? So fast forward when I come to Belgium, first day, as soon as I'm at the airport, my big brother that was already here for 2 years tells me, "Oh, you're gonna get a lot of girls." In my head, I'm like, "What are you talking about? I've been struggling in the past 2, 3 years to get attention from girls. It has been so complicated." He was like, "Nah, wait, you're gonna see. Wait, you're gonna see." And you don't know how many years it took me to actually really understand what he was saying, because from his perspective, from the relationship that he had with girls and what he saw already being here in Europe, in Belgium, I think he already identified that my profile, not only physically, but mind you, I was still just skinny, right? But most certainly also my way of thinking, my way of doing would actually be a key factor in the attraction that I will start, having with girls. But from where I was like, he's just being crazy. Like, who's the guy who's going to get girls? Me? And you see, because I wasn't convinced of that, every girl that I was meeting in the beginning of my 20s, I would always start from the point of view that I have to prove something, that I have to bring something so heavy to compensate the fact that I think I am not beautiful. So you see, it is so huge. Can you imagine if, I don't know, you're starting a fight and you start that fight thinking you're going to lose? Can you imagine starting, I don't know, cooking, and before you even start, in your mind, you're like, yo, this food is gonna be disgusting. Who told you that? How come you can come to those conclusions about yourself, about something that you are doing? Because remember, if you do not believe in what you're doing, if you do not believe in yourself, who's gonna do that for you? Honestly. And even the moment when someone does it for you, you are going to think there's a trick, that there's something wrong here. And that's what happened, right? Okay, for my folks on YouTube, if you remember, it was a bit dark earlier, so I put some settings, and now everything is super white. Well, bear with me; it's a learning curve. The shift came because it is. I cannot tell you this story without telling you how the shift happened, right? And of course, because of that belief deep in my mind, you know, I remember somewhere around being 25, it started to be really, really, really easy for me and girls, like really easy, even without me wanting it. And I remember my brother and my friends would often ask me, "How did you do to get that girl?" So I would be like, "I don't know. I don't know. She's just here next to me. I don't know." So because it took time for me to adjust my ideas and my concept of self, of what I think about myself. And when I look at it, it's really crazy, because how can you navigate through life without thinking you're beautiful? Ha, such a struggle, such a struggle. And this actually leads you to being in relationship where even when you have people that truly love you, you cannot recognize, right? You cannot, you really can. The shift actually came through this girl that was really, really beautiful, and who one day told me, "Listen, you can get any girls, really any girls. It's just you're not dressing the way you should be dressing." I was like, huh? And then she said, "Also with your hair, you need to do something with your hair." Back then I had my fro and I loved it. I loved having my fro, everywhere. I loved having my messy fro. Like I could wake up, my hair would be completely, all over the place, and I would love it. I would love the fact that, I can just be myself and be different. So when she said those words, few weeks after that, we stopped seeing each other. It was actually the seed that allowed me to now look at myself through a different glass. But that time it was my self glass, it was my own glass. And from that moment, things just took off. So I wish I knew I was beautiful. I wish I knew I was super smart. I mean, I knew it, but I never always took actions from that point of view. I would take action from that point of view when it was about photography, when it was about things that I wanted to do. But when it was about school, at some point, because I was like, I really don't want to get this master degree anymore. Like, what I want to do is photography. What I want to be is a photographer. Then I kind of dropped the ball when it comes to school. But when I say drop the ball, it's really drop the ball. I wasn't studying. I would go to the exams, or I would start studying maybe one day before the exam at 11 p.m., right? Deep down knowing, tomorrow is going to be such an embarrassment. Like, why am I even doing this? But back then, the type of ID, the type of uh, permit of stay, I don't know what's the word in English, titre de séjour. So the type of ID that allowed me to stay in Belgium was only attached to the fact that I was a student. So I couldn't just stop being a student, otherwise, I would immediately receive a letter that says, "Thank you for all your years in Belgium. Now it's time for you to go back to Cameroon." Okay, baby, I'm live, huh? Okay, I'm just saying for all the noise. Okay. Um, so what was I saying? So back then, I couldn't have just stopped. I couldn't. I had to continue. So I wish I knew I was smart. I think I would have crushed it at school, because the second I was interested in something, I always ended up having good grades, like English. I learned English just by watching YouTube videos. And I remember when I was in my second years of uni, even the English teacher was like, "How come your English is getting better?" I was like, I listened to Rick Ross. She was like, "Yeah, but Rick Ross is not the greatest teacher when it comes to English. You're gonna have a lot of improper grammar, or stuff like that." So I wish I knew I was smart. Another thing that I wish I knew is, I wish I knew I was powerful. I wish I knew there is nothing that I can do. I wish I knew the second I put my mind and my time onto something, I was gonna become great at that. I wish I knew it. I wish I knew it was something embedded in every human being, that there is nothing that you cannot do, which is actually the core message of this book, I Am Mantra, that I've been reading for the past 26 days. I wish I knew it. I wish I knew I can become anything. I wish I knew the more time I would spend doing something, learning something, falling asleep, trying to become better at that thing, I will become the master at that thing. I wish I knew it. I think I would have become a great photographer sooner than all the time that it took me. I wish I knew that even back then, if I wanted to be a pilot, I would have become a pilot, and it would have taken me 3 years, maybe, or 4 years. I wish I knew there is no limitation but the limitation that I put on myself. I wish I knew that those limitations were taught to me. I wasn't born with them. I was just in environment where people accepted all kind of limitation, and they spoke about it. I heard them, and some of them became my truth, but they were never mine in the first place. I wish I knew it. I wish I knew everything that I think is impossible is actually because someone just didn't believe in himself long enough in order to try and, you know, show the whole world that it is possible. That's what I wish I knew. I wish I knew that, despite my mom telling me when I was 13 years old to stop playing the rap record that I was playing in the living room, despite her telling me that I should stop playing that record because my voice was ugly, I wish I knew that I didn't have to listen to that story and think it was true. By now, I would probably be someone that's mostly using his voice, which is crazy. That's actually what I'm doing. I am using my voice right now. So I wish I knew people are gonna wish the best for you, but in the best that they are wishing for you, their limitations are embedded in those wish. I wish I knew that. I wish I knew it is actually my job to go long enough, hard enough, smart enough on the things that I love, on the things that brings me the highest joy, to actually show to myself, mostly to myself, but also to other, that it is actually possible, that we can do it. We can do anything. We human beings, we are so powerful. We can do anything. I wish I knew that. I wish I knew it doesn't matter who loves you. If you don't love yourself, there is no love. I wish I knew that. I wish I wish I knew that consistency has to be in everything that you're trying to achieve. But the thing is, we have so many examples where consistency is key. It's like brushing your teeth, right? You can go 7 days, 30 days without brushing your teeth. You will not feel anything. But somewhere along the way, the day will come. You're just gonna hear, oh, we have to remove your teeth. You're gonna be like, what? Yeah. It's because of the consistency of not brushing your teeth that you got there. I wish I knew that all those people that are playing football that I love so much, are just robots of consistency on so many things. I wish I knew meditation was this important in the connection of someone to himself or to herself. So you see, being 38 years old now, there are so many things that I wish I knew. But you may think because you know it now, it makes it easy. It doesn't. It doesn't. To a certain extent, it even makes it more complicated because now you know. And it can, and sometimes it does, open the door to you blaming yourself for not taking action because you know so much, right? But that's the thing with life. There's so much more to know. Like the knowledge is literally infinite. The knowledge is literally infinite. It doesn't matter in which field you are spending your time. What you know is infinitely small in comparison to what you don't know. And the more you learn, the more you realize how much more there is to know. So in this game now, I am doing everything I can to implement consistency in the stuff that I do. And that's why I chose this path of challenge, 30 days of 30 YouTube challenge. There are a few days where I didn't record because I just forgot. Like I just forgot out of being tired, out of doing something else. But I never realized that I didn't do a live and then I went to bed without doing a live. It never happened. It never happened. But I know before the end of the month I will have 30 live. It doesn't matter. Like today is the second live that I'm doing, and it's only 2 p.m. It's not even 2 p.m. yet. It's 1:57. So maybe somewhere around 6 p.m. I'm gonna do another live because I am gonna do my 30 days, 30 live. And this is me building momentum that I cannot see. I went from 24 subscribers to 60 subscribers in 25 days. So more than double my amount of subscribers, which is amazing, which is great. Now, I would love to implement something where I already allow those 60 people to ask me, even if it's one question per week, one question. Because the more I realize that I am bringing value to people, the more fire I become. I wish I knew so many things. I wish I knew so many things when I was in my 20s, but here I am, 38. I already know a lot, but there's so much more to know, which will actually allow me to make an amazing videos the second I turn 40 to be like, I am 40 years old. This is what I wish I knew when I was in my 30s, right? So yeah, guys, once again, thank you for your time. Thank you for always being in the live, and I will see you tomorrow or maybe in a few hours for the next live. Peace.